Hey, welcome y'all here to Duck Roost Sports. We got Chuck and Brad and Coach Oliver here. Little end of the season. This is the first time we really did this, end of the school year. Just a little recap of the athletic department of how everybody did this year. I mean, just off the top of my head, they did. I mean, we had some good teams.
We did overall throughout top to bottom.
And we're not just talking about the major sports either.
No,
we're talking about all of them. Like from track and field, cross country. We had people in the state tournament for tennis and swimming. And, we just did phenomenal. And cross country, you had Peyton Bourgeois and Ella Willoughby. That went to the state championships. And
it was a tremendous year. Before we get to cross country, I always try to judge the athletic department on, how the teams are doing from a financial standpoint. Are we giving them what they need? And then are we seeing the success and, and the improvements in the facilities and the success on the field? Are kids having the absolute best experience they can have in our program? And when you look at the results, I think that's probably what I'm most proud of, is that this is like the 6th year of the last 8 that we've made every sport that has a playoff.
Yeah,
we've made the playoffs in those sports, and
that's awesome.
We've had a individual competitor, whether it be tennis or wrestling or cross country, that don't have the playoff type sports, but they
made it to the state tournament.
We got kids that have done that. So there's only 5 schools in the state each year out of 412 that actually end up doing that on a consistent basis, and so that just tells me that we're very well rounded.
Right.
Some sports are going to go up and kind of down, but they're always going to be pretty solid. And I'm very proud of that. And the cross country is, Ella Willoughby came in as a freshman, and very first varsity meet as a 9th grader, which is hard to do, set the school record. And then she reset it.
Set the table high.
Reset it a few more times. So I think you'll see some huge results from her as she continues to mature. And
that's awesome.
Peyton Bourgeois is probably one of the best all-around athletes when you look at his tenure. A lot of people don't consider cross-country, soccer, indoor and outdoor track as the major sports. But, man, this guy was incredible at everything he did here at St. Amant High School.
You don't think that's a sport? You go on a Saturday morning out to the park and run 20 miles and see how you feel after that.
And he's he finished his high school career. He placed in the state meet, did really good job, and he set the school record in the 1 mile and the 2 mile. So, besides what he did, he's a cross country record holder.
Yep.
And I know people always talk about football, basketball, baseball, and those kind of things, but I mean, when you consider what this guy has done for St. Amant Athletics, we started the Hall of Fame, I think 4 or 5 years ago, and I could see in 10 years this guy being in the conversation with what he did in high school.
Exactly.
And we are at what, 26 sports, right? Is that what the number is? Or
it's 27.
27
and we always say 28 because we include Coach Arsenault and his sports medicine program does such a great job keeping these kids on the field that we consider it more of a team than a club.
Right.
And so we count it as a team because, that's what, one of my favorite quotes of all time is the Phil Jackson, the strength of the team is the team. And they get left out of that conversation a bunch. They keep our kids healthy. They keep them out on the playing field. They nurse them when they're sick. They get them back to health, and they help them recover. And I mean, that's a group of kids that's a team and functions as part of our team, and they're an integral part of every program on campus.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're a part of every one of those 27 sports.
Absolutely.
And they're here after hours. They're here on the weekends. So they put a lot of time and effort into what they do as well.
And we've had the tremendous. One of the things personally that I can say that I feel like I really has made a difference for us is whether it be the Booster Club, whether it be Duck Roost, whether it be the athletic department or the athletic department partnering with the school board. We have really, I think, some of the absolute best facilities in strength and conditioning in the state of Louisiana and sports medicine. So you talk about injury prevention that happens in that weight room. It builds confidence. It prevents injuries. And I think our coaches teach great techniques, which helps that. And then if they do get injured, I think we got the absolute best in the state helping them get back to on the playing field. And you know, it's hard to win a state championship if you got 3 or 4 starters down in softball.
Yes. Right.
And so
right.
keeping them healthy is
right.
just as important as the production on the field. So.
I'll tell you what, I'll put our weight room against almost anybody's in the state.
Yeah.
I mean, it's phenomenal. If y'all haven't ever seen it, I mean, get in touch with Coach Oliver. I'm sure he'll show you. You know, like it is great. Like this little room that we in was our weight room.
Yeah, definitely has changed over the years, and for a good change. That's definitely. We'll move down as the seasons kind of went through.
Yeah, football. It wasn't the season that we all hoped for. You know, we had a lot of injuries there, but they did make the playoffs.
And that's 10 out of the last 11 years, which is the best stretch in school history of making the playoffs, and that's something to be said for that. We had to play some freshmen. We had some injuries that, especially at key positions like quarterback, where we got down to our 3rd, 4th, 5th guy. Because the guys, one had a hernia, one had a broken leg, and it just we never kind of got it all together in the preseason. And then I was really proud about how our kids went and rallied and earned that playoff spot. They had to win to get in, and then they knew they were looking up to possibly if we get in playing one of the top 2 teams in the state, which in our state was probably not looking very bright for chances of success, but they knew it meant something to the people before them that wore the black and gold, and the people that after that. That's going to be our legacy, is we're going to show that we can come back from this adversity. And it was I think athletic departmentally wise, we've done a tremendous job in a lot of ways of coming back from the COVID situation. And I almost I told the kids in the locker room after the game, and I feel like in some kind of ways that we failed them. And I don't know if that's necessarily us as the coaches or the school or society or whatever, but this is the group of kids that was a freshman, and then a lot of the work we do is after their freshman year when we integrate them into the program, we challenge them in the weight room, we build toughness in there. Besides preventing injuries, and they missed all that. They missed all that because of COVID, and a lot of them didn't come back to school. They were virtual in the fall, and then, we had a pretty senior heavy team the year after, and 9 out of those 10 games were played on the road at Dutchtown and or road sites, and so. They kind of had it rough, and some of the and then, some of that showed up this year.
I'm
gonna tell you what, senior class, it was nobody's fault. It just didn't gel and mesh. We didn't have a chance to develop that class as much as we have the other ones, and I hated that. I felt like there was more on the table that could have been done had we had the time to do it, but circumstances didn't allow that to happen.
But it's good to see that they just didn't roll over and say, you know what, we had a tough one. This whole, we got screwed. They fought. They came back and they said, you know what, we're not going out like that. We're gonna give it everything we got, and that shows testament to the kids and the coaching staff and everything else too, of saying, look,
the program as a whole.
We have a winning program, and this is why.
Absolutely.
So.
And then swimming, there's a lot of them that placed and everything, but
tell you what, the swimming team has grown tremendously.
It has.
I remember when we actually had it when we were in school here, but it might have been 4 or 5 kids.
I see.
Maybe.
Right.
On the whole swim team.
Like you didn't know who was on the swim.
No.
You didn't know nobody that swam. Like you saw them and it's like, what they doing? They swim. We got a swim team?
We got a swim team. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that,
and look, I got to just go out and give a tremendous plug. We got a lot of great coaches on this campus, but we got probably one of the greatest coaches in this state is Amy Petrie, who I say has 3.5 state titles because I'm giving her credit for the 20-0 year.
They won it that year.
They got canceled because that was one of the best teams I saw play, and they just didn't get to finish it. A circumstance thing. But, we had lost a swim coach a few years back, and I was kind of looking for one, and you know what? She said, you need a coach, I'll do it. I said, man, what you know about swimming? She said, well, I know how to swim.
Kick your feet.
don't drown.
But let me tell you what she did is she knows how to develop assistants. She knows how to motivate kids. She knows how to create teams and bonds and togetherness. And she started going to work on that. And then this Coach Kling, who's our new head coach, went by her maiden name, was one of Amy's first hires as an assistant. She was a Katz Marzik then. And she was at LSU and had just finished swimming. And so she graduated from college, and we tried to hire her. We didn't have a teaching position that matched. She went to Woodlawn. And then after a year, we had a teaching spot, so we hired her and brought her back. So
awesome.
I expect to see, she's really devoted, and I think, we like to say, look, all our programs, the sky's the limit. You can make them with our booster club, our community, our support. You can make these almost anything you want them to be.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
Right.
If you're willing to put the time in, if you're
right.
willing to build relationships, you're willing to recruit the kids, there's enough.
Yeah.
Right.
There's enough
right.
kids that know that you can
Definitely.
train to swim to
That's
be
right.
pretty solid. And she's doing a tremendous job with an assist at the starting gate from Amy, who, just like I said, she really
kind of
revived it, got the numbers up, got kids interested,
blocks and,
created some pride in it, and did some nice things. But I look for big things from Coach Kling. She has an assistant, Coach Wilkinson, that is a non-faculty guy that does a tremendous job. He's got a couple of kids that swim on the team. And, so we're starting to see these kids starting to swim at a younger age and starting to get in these clubs, and the swim is starting to get the model that volleyball has been so successful with. The kids starting at a younger age and doing it.
Well,
and now swim's starting to get that.
That's how soccer was when soccer in this parish. There was no soccer in this parish when we were here.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of just started. Now the swim's starting to come, and it's starting to get more of a following and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went on with volleyball. They made it. They went 26 and 15 overall record, and they made it. There was a number 10 seed, and they made it to the second round.
Yep, they won the first round game, and which was nice to see with Coach Ewan. And I see that program continuing to improve. I think when you look at what we got coming back, and the freshman class that's coming in, and where the district sits, I can't say enough about our district. I mean, I just am really proud. I'm waiting to hear about the LHSAA results, because Ascension Parish had a chance to go present in front of the LHSAA today about Prairieville High School and it having athletics in their first year. And I'm waiting to see, how that all turns out. But, if you throw Prairieville into that league with the 3 Ascension, 3 Livingstons, man, the travel's good. The community support's good. The rivalries are going to be good.
Yeah.
And
it's all like schools.
Yes.
We all got school districts.
So that district that we're in all sports is good. And like I say, Coach Ewan is tremendous. I'd like to thank all our coaches why it's on my mind, because it comes up because volleyball has some of the best of the best. But, man, I was typing up some information for the game program, and we had, senior athletes. Now, if a kid played 3 sports, they made it 3 times. But, we had 125 different accolades for academic all-state, which means that those kids had a 3.5 cum GPA or better. And then we had 24 that were composite kids that had never had to be in high school. And,
wow.
That's speaking of pride for the athletic department.
Yes.
Coach Ewan runs a discipline program, and some of her kids are the best students that we got on campus.
Oh yeah.
I saw, not to jump ahead to the softball, but I saw Amy had posted that their cum was a 3.9.
3.9.02 or something.
Like as a cum, like God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy. Then we had boys basketball. They finished up with a 23-12 record, made it to the second round. It was 11 seed going in.
Had a good run.
Yeah. They did.
They were Coach Husey's done a solid job, and I was telling Coach Garcia, and I was sitting around because I guess this is, many people don't know this, but Coach Garcia is the only coach that I haven't hired at Santa Ana High School. That's on the he was actually, we got here at the same time.
Okay.
So he was an assistant for Ray Linton. And then Ray gave up the job mid-season, and he got that battlefield promotion when David Swacker was still here. Right. And then in January, I inherited him. He'd only had at that point like the interim job. But, so we always talk about every coach that I've hired. Now that baseball, we gave Bravada a ton of crap because he lost in the state finals, but he hadn't won that district championship yet. He was the only coach that I've hired that hadn't won one.
Well, we did.
Oh, really?
And so we won this year. That's what I said. So we were teasing him up to this year. So Coach Husey, and I looked at, we were talking the other day, it's been a decade. He came in, he took over for, Coach Dewey. And then, his first year was, a lot of transitions tough on them first-year coaches and the players and everyone involved. But, he's sitting on 9 straight years of 20-plus wins, and, playoffs, and to me that speaks about the strength of the athletic program in general, which makes me proud as the AD.
The thing about the second, them losing out in the second round, they had 3 seniors this year.
Yeah,
that's all they had was 3 seniors. So I mean that's awesome because look what's coming up. You know,
and also this year you had Scooter that broke the 1,000-point barrier this year.
Yep. I think he said that. I think since '86 or something when they were keeping the records or whatever. I think he's the highest scorer since then. They don't know about before, because they didn't have the records or something, you know. But that's what Coach Uzzi, I think, had told me that he set the highest, the most points scored by a player here so far from '86.
I'd have to go research it, but I feel like this year might be the highest numbers of kids that we've put into college scholarships. You know, I was trying to track it. The kids that we got like over 80 kids in all sports playing college athletics somewhere. And then, you know, we obviously had Dylan Carpenter at LSU and Peyton Anderson at Southeastern. But, you know, Latavian Scooter Crockett's going to Xavier.
Right.
And then when we get to the girls, you know, Denia Thornton is one of the funnest players I've had a chance to watch. Girls basketball in my 16 years here.
Girls basketball.
And then you got AJ and then a couple others. You know, there's just been a ton of soccer players and whatnot.
Girls basketball finished up 24-8 second round. They were a 10 seed. Just like you said, you know, Denia, I mean.
She's going to dunk it one day.
Oh, she's
we calling it now. We've been calling it all season. But, yeah, she was definitely a fun one to watch all year as well.
That team's fun to watch. And, you know, Coach Harvey is you know, sometimes you get a little bit lucky because she was very young. And, you know, of course, you know, you always want to hire somebody with experience. But, man, after that interview, I was just like, man, I had like a feeling that, you know what, somebody's going to give this girl her first chance, and I'm going to regret not hiring her.
Right.
And, you know, so I went ahead and made the recommendation to Miss Tomplay, and she said, man, if you feel that strongly, let's go get her. And we did, and the transition that they've made with the style of play
totally
is just
different.
Amazing to me. We went from, you know, for example, when we would play like the teams that run and gun and press, like McKinley, they could chew us up, and when we were
now we chewing them up.
Now we look like the team that's chewing them up. We're trapping, playing aggressive. There's some energy on the bench. I just can't say enough about. I think she just finished her third year. And her first 2 years, they went back-to-back district titles. And I tell you what, you know, we talk about that district again. That basketball district in boys and girls is no joke. The Walker boys and the Walker girls are strong, and you know, Denham's solid. You know, plus us and EA. I mean, that's just
I mean, it's always competitive. You know.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I do like in the basketball and baseball part of it. I feel like if you're good enough to win your district, you're good enough to win state.
Oh yeah.
And you can't say that at every district in this state. But I feel like we can. So
definitely.
Kudos to Coach Harvey.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you what, y'all. If y'all haven't been to a basketball, girls basketball or boys basketball game yet, put it on your calendar for this year because I mean, okay, we're gonna go film girls basketball. Same thing with volleyball. You know, at first, I mean, I was like, film volleyball. It's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun to watch. It really is fun. Like the tempo is up. It ain't like you would think that. You know, everybody might have had this mindset. Oh, girls, I mean, whatever. But no, bro, it's legit.
It's a lot of energy in the dome and everything. You know, it's fun.
And there's a new, just as a point of interest, there's a new federation rule change in high school basketball now that there's no more 1-and-1. It's going to be like the girl college game. Is that you get 5 fouls a quarter, and after 5 fouls, everything is a double bonus.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
And then you reset the fouls each quarter, not each half.
Okay.
So now I think that's going to increase the speed of play.
Do you still only get 5 fouls? Personal foul,
personal fouls per person, but team fouls it's still 10.
It's still 10, but just
you can get the double after 5.
After 5,
wow! It resets for the next one, so I think that's going to increase the style of play because that 1-and-1 kind of slows the game down, and you got that double bonus, and you're kicking the ball back out and going. And I think I'm interested to see how that rule has changed because the other biggest rule we had is when they moved the circle in girls softball, which I guess has been.
Oh, it's
10 11 years now.
At least.
You know, all of a sudden it went from favoring for a hot second. It went from favoring the pitchers to all of a sudden now, you know,
and the hitters.
Then the hitters got a little, you know. And so now I think it's, you know, it's coming back.
Yeah.
And so, you know, people are getting used to it. So I'm interested to see how that rule change shakes out.
Yeah.
And we had the indoor track and field, which, I mean, Peyton, we talked about him. You know, he had a phenomenal, just all around indoor track, outdoor track, cross country, everything. Then we had powerlifting, man. I see it's getting bigger again. It's just starting to grow. Like we had what we had when Coach Daniel was it called powerlifting?
We didn't have it. I think it started right after we left.
Was it
had
called
started.
Powerlifting?
It was.
And then it went away, I think, for a while.
Yeah, it went away for a while, and then it came back.
Now it's back, and I mean they got a lot of kids.
Yeah, it was a club sport, and then Santamon was pretty dominant in it at one time. And then, there wasn't a lot of legislation, and I think it kind of fell apart for a little while there. And then the LHSA got involved and piloted it. And then when the LHSA put some rules behind it and some guidelines, then I was all for it. So we started at we got Coach Roberts is involved with that, and Coach Ewan, who's also our volleyball coach, and then Coach Thomas, he's our head strength and conditioning coach for all sports. So they kind of triple team that. And, the first year, it was, we're just putting it in and we're getting the kids interested, and we're just going to have one meet. And then the second year, well, you know what, we're going to have 2 meets and host the regional.
Right.
And then, and then the number of kids that got to the podium in state, this Peyton Anderson was for sure, the difference of his body from when he started to power lift and when he was amazing. I mean, they get them suits and straps on. And I mean, I think he squatted like 600 pounds in the state, meet. And I was just like, man, look at this guy lift weights.
I see that Tyree and Peyton, they both finished third in their weight classes, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, that you got a lot of kids out there that might not be very athletically like coordinated and stuff like that to go and they might not make a baseball team, might not make a softball team, might not make a volleyball, basketball. But I mean, this is powerlifting. I mean, you competing in your weight. Your weight class. So you could weigh $105, and be the best in the state.
Oh, yeah. And that program is, both of them are really on the rise from a number standpoint. And, they're lifting over the summer now. So, I mean, it's growing.
That's good.
It's really, that's going to be a force. We're going to be a force in that to be reckoned with in the years to come, I'm telling you.
That's good. Now, girls soccer, they finished up 12-2, made it to the third round. They were 20 seed. Coach Jolie, we love her to death. Hate to see her step away.
Me too. That was my first. They give you some student workers. So, for example, your son Colby was my student worker this last year. So, 2 of my former student workers are now head coaches. Or Jolie Hartman was one, and then Clint Brownell, our wrestling coach,
the wrestling coach,
also one of my student workers. So I knew what kind of people they were in high school.
Right.
So. When I took over, there was a situation where we had 3 soccer coaches in 3 years. We had, Jason Knockhand had, he ended his tenure, and then I hired a guy that I really liked, this Brett Malone, and, he's, my life are here. I love this community. And as soon as the St. Joseph's job opened, he was here for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And he did a hell of a job in those 6 months.
Right.
And so, man, I was sitting there looking at, we're looking at our 3rd coach in 3 years.
I need somebody that's going to be stuck.
And, so I thought about it. I said, you know what? This Jolie had just finished in soccer at junior college and enrolled at Southeastern. So that's how young she was.
Right.
I mean, she was not even a junior, going into her junior year of college. And I called her. First, I called her mom, who's our athletic secretary, and said, man, look, I've got to get your blessing first. This may sound a little crazy.
Right.
And she said, well, lay it on me. So she said, let me think about it. And then the more she thought about it, the more so then I called Jolie. And so it all fell into place by then. And to watch her grow as a coach and, get her teaching certificate after college. And then, in 10 years, she's made the playoffs every year. She made the semifinals. She made 2 or 3 quarterfinals. She won multiple district championships. And she left her mark at Santa Maria soccer.
And that's not like the other sports, football, baseball, like select, non-select, they all together.
Yeah.
Like that's everybody in the state playing together.
Yes.
So
you had to face all the private schools.
That's right.
I mean,
right.
That's it. I mean, they go recruit.
They do.
I mean, that's what they do.
New Orleans got your volleyball schools, you got your softball schools, you got your soccer schools.
Yeah.
So we're going to miss her. She wants to pursue some administrative type
Okay,
stuff.
good.
She got her master's degree. So she's still on faculty.
Yep.
And she's still going to run the spirit groups and, the pep rallies.
We
and all
still
that
trying
kind
to
of
recruit
stuff.
her here.
Yeah, we
trying to recruit her
I
here.
think she has an interest in that. And so, anyways, I just hired this Jacob Bordelon, who's in his mid-20s, who's a guy that went to St. Michael's High School and was coaching back there at St. Michael's High School. And, some of the ties that you end up making, back when we lost our house in the flood, we had that relationship with the Wagaspack family from EA, the big EA people. But my parents took in their son. They took in us during the flood, all that with Cade Wagaspack then. And so we got to meet Dal Wagaspack and his wife Dareth, which is a Bonneville.
Right.
Yep.
She's a Gator.
Was raised right across the road.
Across the road.
I still see her dad sometimes when we're out of practice.
That's right.
So anyways,
Ricky.
they got three daughters, A, B, and C,
and they all go to St. Michael.
They all go to St. Michael. So I called, them. So you might need to check this guy out. So I started checking him out. So one thing led to another, and so he's coming on here. He's a coach with Baton Rouge Soccer. And,
okay.
So he just had his first day of tryouts, first 2 days. He finished one Tuesday, and he's got his other one today. So we're excited to see him take it over.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
We're good.
And then the boys soccer, they finished up 12-4-3. Second round, they made it to, and then there was a number 8 seed. You talked about Coach Garcia.
Coach Garcia is a tremendous coach. He's a great friend, but he's also does a tremendous job with our boys soccer program. He stays, he's with that club soccer, and he, they get that licensures, and he stays on the cutting edge, all the new techniques and stuff. And everyone sits at 12-4-3, losing in the second round, but I was at that game. That was a game that went into at least overtime, maybe double overtime against Dutchtown, who went to the state championship and lost.
Right.
And that
I was there too. I was standing by you.
We had multiple chances to win that game,
right?
And it was just a heartbreaking loss. So when you get to the point where you play that well, and you get in the second round and people are disappointed, you got your program, and Adrian has them a program. They've been tremendous my entire tenure here, and they've all of a sudden you look up and they're 14-1-2 and third in the PowerPoint.
Right. Just like that. Boom.
Just like an every year thing. And then he really does a tremendous job of finding his best 11 players and then moving them to where they fit. This Ulrich Gaffney, who was one of my favorites to watch. We've had a bunch of good ones, but he started as a mid-back, defensive type guy, and then as a junior and senior, he moved him up to the front, and that guy was an alpha dog up there.
Yes,
but
indeed.
So when he wasn't quite the alpha dog, but he learned in the back.
That's it,
right?
So we've been strong. So Adrian, great job.
And then wrestling, you talked about Clint, Coach Clint Brownell.
Brownell. Yeah.
So that program's fixing to pop. Coach Hess did such a great job on that program, and really, when he took over for Ernest Brown. That was like when cross-country when I took over here. We had 3 cross-country runners. And so our big thing was to get kids involved and get active. And so Coach Hess came in and, he got that program where they were regular, top 5, top 6. And that ain't divided either. That's like all.
Right, that's all together, right.
Yeah, it's all. And then, people always talk about football and baseball, but it's them Olympic sports where those private schools, swimming, tennis, golf, and that's where you see those. Our tennis players are playing against a kid that had $20,000 of lessons at Bocage. And we're out there teaching them how to.
We don't even have a net.
But so Clint he's got the numbers back up. We had over 50 wrestlers this year. They finished in the top 10 and would have been top 7. But a kid lost his cool and got disqualified.
Right.
And they took those points in the last match because, he thought he got a bad call. You know what I mean? The kid could have kept his poise. But, if we get those points, we're top 7. And then, I think Clint just turned 25, and he's the oldest guy in the program. His brother Corey Brownell helps. Hunter Hawkins, which was a very good wrestler here for us. So as those numbers increase, I think that's a program. I'm proud of what they've been doing, and I just see – with the youth that they got and the numbers of kids they got out there, I know the numbers starting to peak.
I know the numbers are growing because if anybody knows where they practice at, they practice in the old shed over here on the big concrete concrete block wall building
over by the baseball field.
But they had to tear the wall out so that they can give them more room.
Absolutely.
They had another wall that partitioned or whatever. It was like they had 3/4 of the building.
Now they outgrew it.
They outgrew it. Now they got the whole building. So that's going to help them.
And, when you talk about the pride you have as an athletic director and with the athletic programs and the job the community does by, like what you guys do with Duck Roost, what the Booster Club does with selling programs and parking passes and, all that stuff. And then buying a game ticket, buying extravaganza tickets, everything that people do to support our programs. You talked about how that made the weight room so beautiful.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If people haven't seen our wrestling room there, that's it don't look like a whole bunch from the outside, but that is a top-notch facility for those kids. And if you walk in there, you can't help but be proud of being a member of this community that helped put that there.
Right. Yeah.
That thing was abandoned kind of
It was an old tractor shed.
It was old tractor shed. That's what it was.
To see what it looks like now with the work, it's been a process through Coach Hess, and it's a little bit here at a time. But then, if you keep working at it after 7, 8 years, it's really a source of pride right there.
Then we got Coach Cagnolati with the boys and girls bowling. I do want to give him a big shout out because he does push like the video, and him and his daughter, they'll set the cameras up.
Yeah, they go live
for grandparents and people that can't make it and all.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of them. Let's see, like the boys, they were a 17 seed, made it to the second round. Girls bowling was a 9 seed. They made it through to the second round. That program's really getting big. You talk to people and they're like before, 4 or 5 years ago, bowling, we got a bowling team. Now people know we got a bowling team.
Yeah.
Kids are coming to Santa Monica High saying, I'm going to play on a bowling team.
There's no doubt. And of course, it don't hurt him. He's got a couple ringers that share his DNA.
That's right. His
daughter is absolutely excellent. In fact, I think she was the star of stars. Yeah, she was the star of stars, which is
she was? Okay,
good.
The best
the best in the Baton Rouge area for bowling, and then his son's also a tremendous bowler. But
awesome.
To see
Chase.
Yeah, to see how they take a guy who has done basically recreational bowling,
right?
And to see those guys in a match and the improvement that they made, it's
right.
I mean, there's a lot more to that. That's a skill game. It's
like
golfing.
Yeah.
It's like golfing and stuff, and to see the improvement from a group of recreational guys to guys that are competitors, it's pretty impressive. That program he's doing a great job.
He is. He really is. Golf, I know they made it to the regionals. I don't know if any of the golfers made it past that. I tried to look for information. I couldn't really find it because the LHSA site was kind of goofy.
Yeah, we did make it to regionals as a team, and I don't believe this year we had one individual. I couldn't call his name right now, but we did have a guy qualify.
Okay.
And it's a very young team, and the numbers were a little down. I think we had 6 this year.
Yeah.
And but boy, I tell you what, there's been some elite talent come through there. The Peyton Canners and Nichols, and there's been a few that have been very strong.
Right.
And so,
that's Coach Uzi that
Coach
runs that.
Uzi runs 2 sports there right there. So
gymnastics, they had a bunch of girls that placed high, like 4th, 5th, stuff like that in the state. I guess it was the state meet. I think it was the state meet. I think Coach Harvey.
Actually, we just named Natalie Oquan, who is a guidance counselor at the school, whose daughter is involved in that as our new gymnastics head coach, and I love her plan for the program because she's going to create opportunities. Because those kids all work at an outside gym. We don't have a partner with we don't have that equipment here, and you need to have certain levels of to qualify for the team championship. You have to have a certain number of members of your team that are whatever level 4,
level 4,
5,
level 6, 8, 9,
some sort
jumps
of
all over.
So we use this Paul Gotro, and we've trained with him at his gym, and the name changes all gymnastia, whatever that is. So I think she's gonna those kids are gonna start a little bit earlier. Because most of those girls are dancers and cheerleaders.
Correct. Right.
We do have a few that are just gymnasts.
Gym, right.
There's a lot of carryover there. So she's trying to create some situations on Sundays, starting in August. They can, go to the gym and
get them started early. Yeah.
Just start getting some work. So, I expect that to be a pretty strong program moving forward as well.
And then the tennis boys and girls, that's Coach Mia.
Yeah, it was really a tag team,
Yeah.
Mia's named as the head coach, but that is track is a father-son thing with Benny Babin and Seth Babin.
Yeah.
And then tennis is a husband-wife thing.
Right.
Mia Smith, who teaches speech here at the school, and her husband, Kevin. And they really do a great job with that program and those kids,
I saw it like doubles. We had a team on both sides, boys and girls, singles and doubles. We had two boys in doubles, in singles, and 2 boys in – two girls in singles, and then we had each a team, 2 teams, and that's
went to
one
the first
team,
round.
one town.
Yeah,
but they made it to the state tournament. That's the thing. They made it. They were in ULM.
Correct.
They were playing in the state.
And all I can ask is that our coaches, pour everything they got into it and create opportunities for these kids to get better. And these kids are playing over the summer. They're creating opportunities for them to compete. And they really, the thing they probably do best is team building. They go out of their way to love those kids and make that a special experience being a part of their organization, and they do a good job, very good job.
Me, Coach, I'm always thinking of stuff, That's one of my things, like in the next 10 years, that I would like to see, and I don't know if it'll happen, but for us to be able to put some tennis courts, right here on campus, because then if the kids can stay after school to practice, there might be more kids get more involved in it rather than mama got to bring them to Gonzales or whatever,
wherever they got to go to,
or wherever they got to go, Yeah. But I know that. I mean, that's my pipe dream. I got a lot of pipe dreams.
Well, that is, I don't know where we stand right now, but we got a lot of stuff. We meet with, for years Jeff Parent did it,
yeah,
and then now he's kind of turned that over to Tim Amadei, and so. We meet with the director of secondary schools, several times a year as ADs, and one of those meetings is dedicated to each school creating, and which is a thing that we actually started here when I started. I got with Coach Arsenault, and we went and drove around and looked at all the facilities, and I put, look, in 5 years, this is what I want it to look like. Right. In 10 years, this is what I want it to look like.
Right.
Now, never in my wildest dreams did I think we could afford all this, but if you budget and you get the support and you ask for donations and the school board chips in, well, after 10 years, it's amazing the things that were on that list that we got.
You have to have a plan anyway.
Right.
You have to start somewhere.
Right.
And so we were able to lobby the athletic committee for that turf for all the high schools, for baseball, softball, and football, and that was tense to get that through. That was 4 or 5 years of work by the director of schools and Jeff and the athletic committee and the ADs, because we pushed it hard. And, after they took out EA's money and then they took out the money for the new school, and then, there was like $30 million of this bond left, and there was like $250 million in requests.
Right. Yeah. Right.
to think that we got 6.3 of that for athletics is amazing.
Right.
But so I'm telling you that because the tennis courts and swimming pool are on that list of every school. Now, I don't think it'll look like each school will have one, but it would be a facility that we could all use.
If they would have a natatorium for
Yes.
all the schools to use, so they don't have to go to Baton Rouge when the inclement weather and everything. Yeah. I mean, that would be something huge on school board land somewhere.
Yeah.
Put it, and then it could be in Sorrento. On that they got tons of land over there.
They got 22 acres. School board owns 22 acres over there.
22? No, they got 600 acres or whatever. The middle 600.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if that's going to come to fruition in my time, but it's being discussed. I know.
Yeah.
Right now, all anyone's worried about is construction of the new school. And that done. So, but that is one of the things that the ADs have identified as a need. And, new lighting is a thing that we're trying to get
huge.
The LED lighting, and I think we're going to see that sooner rather than later at baseball, softball, the tracks, and the football field.
Especially our track.
And those are the lights instead of those old can lights like we got. That if they go off, you got to flick them twice and pray.
And wait 30 minutes for them to cool off.
These are like flip a switch and they on and flip it, they off.
That's right.
And, I would definitely love to see more lights around the track.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Definitely.
That's part of it. And so
that's
the lighting's a big thing on that list. But I kind of got off of the tangent. But as an athletic department and athletic directors together, we do regularly get together and identify needs. Now, those needs might be different for Donaldsonville than they are for Santa Maria than Dutchtown or whatever. But, when they have a surplus of money, we ended, I think the building out here, the tractor storage, and we call it the SAC, the Santa Maria Athletic Center, and boys and girls soccer, boys and girls track, boys and girls cross country now all have locker rooms and a place, coaches' offices, and place to lock their stuff up, and a little source of pride. And so we got that the last time, and Dutchtown got a weight room, which they needed. We, our weight room's in pretty good shape. Yep. EA got the track press box and some stuff.
Right.
And so, I'm hoping that sooner rather than later with the new tax base that we'll end up getting, a chance to do one of these major upgrades. We're in the process of closing in the end caps with glass of the Gold Dome to create additional
lighting.
Maybe stadium type seating in there for like sign-in parties and team meeting rooms and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we're in the process of getting a bid for that, which I think will dress up the upper part of the Gold Dome for a variety of activities.
Yeah.
We're working on a lot of things right now.
Baseball, finished up 27-12. They were district champs.
District champs
Made it to the quarterfinals. We lost West Monroe up there. West Monroe went and played for the championship. Yep. But not bad. I'm gonna tell you what. I mean, not bad for the group of kids, the seniors that we had. We got we had Dallas is going to play. Blaze is Lalonde's going to play. college ball, but they had some injuries and stuff. But overall, a lot of those juniors stepped up, I'm very excited about the next 3 years, because the freshman class he had, this incoming ones that's trying out there right now. Like, I don't want to be that part, like the one choosing that. And then next year's freshmen are going to be. I mean, that's a good class coming up too for baseball.
I'm going to have to take your word for it because I've only heard that same statement every spring for the last 16 years.
I get it, Coach. I get it. But I'm telling you, after this tryout, go ask Coach if that was his hardest selections or not.
I love Coach Bravada, and I picked him out too. And, he's won a title at Berwick and then made it to the state semis at Berwick, made it to the finals here. Petered out in the sixth inning, and I'm just telling you, he's the wood as we call it, the championship wood is coming back to Santa Monica.
It's coming
at some point, and he's the guy to do it. The kids get developed. I like the way that those kids in his program get to play a lot, and I like the way Cody Ortego. I wish him the best of luck if he gets this Berwick job or Slidell job, because I don't want to hold anyone back. But, man, he does a pretty damn good job for us, and I would hate to lose him. And Jay Dykes, and, it's just a top-notch staff that really gets a lot out of their guys. And,
they do.
You can see that's what, when you talk about Bianca Harvey, and you can see the enthusiasm, you can feel it on the bench. The same thing is in softball and baseball.
Right.
You go and you hear the dugouts. You hear them cheering for each other.
Yeah. You might be down, but you're not out.
You're never out of it.
The girls got the little chants and cheers.
Right.
The boys got they get a say in a year, add a kid or, whatever. They got some.
And they find some kind of hat. They have some kind of hat,
So you can just see the camaraderie and the togetherness. And, that stuff has to be earned, and it takes trust, and it takes communication. And, that's, when you just go to an event and you watch and you see, man, these kids are having the time of their lives. And that's what I like to see.
Right.
And that's not, when you lose, I'm sure at West Monroe, that was bitter for them. And I'm sure that they were crushed.
Definitely.
But you don't get crushed if you don't get invested.
That's right.
And, you could tell that they poured into it and got everything that they could out of it.
They could.
And I see that in a lot of our coaches and a lot of our programs. Right. That's why I say I sit here with a tremendous amount of pride that I'm able to surround myself with good people.
Yep.
The administration at school allows for that.
Right.
They kind of let us kind of pick who we want, and then they fit them in the classroom if it's at all possible.
Right.
And, so I just sit here pretty amazed at this community and the
there's not many athletic directors could sit down like we are right here and have this same type of conversation.
Right. No,
right.
Because
a lot of those sports is like we had a tennis team.
There may be we won district football the last 12 years running, and then but all the other sports,
everything else is
that's it. They don't put the effort and the time into it to promote that kind of things, and that's what makes Santa Monica unique.
Right.
Yeah, that's like I say. I tell my wife every day. I just it's just a dream job.
That's right.
I mean, it's a great place to live. Both my kids graduated from here. I think I got to get a tank of gas every 6 or 7 weeks with my commute from the lakes of Santa Monica. And it's just it's a fun place to work, and it's nice that when you ask for things and you have a dream about something,
you can get to
that people say it might take us a while, but it's possible. Let's see what we can do, and then we rally together and get it done.
That's right. That's right.
That you look at the signages on all the, the rally boards on softball, baseball, the covered batting cages, the things that have changed over the creation of the Hall of Fame, the work in the weight room, the turf on all the fields, and then so we got plans to. We thought we had a video board like Zachary in the Gold Dome, 2 in the Gold Dome and 1 at the pit. That company kind of
bit the dust.
Well, I think COVID hit them up.
Like a lot of
we're
companies.
actively looking to still create that,
go toward that,
on our sporting events, because I think there's something for that.
I think so too.
Oh, there's definitely something for it.
But the lighting and that stuff we talked about. But man, thank you guys so much.
Wait. We got one more.
Oh, yep, softball. 3.5.
3.5 what?
State champions.
Oh,
yeah. 3.5. 32-2 on the year, district champs, undefeated district champs. Was
for
10 years?
At least 10 years in a row that we know of.
In district?
The last district game we lost to was to EA. And you know who EA's coach was at the time?
Petrie.
Amy Petrie.
Yeah. Well, from what we could tell, I think it was like we thought it was 2012 St. Joseph's.
Could be right. That seems right.
That I think was the last time we actually lost a district game. Now, again, that's kind of hazy. We hadn't been able to get clarification on that.
So there was
but still, 10 years.
There was a ton of, that was one of the questions that I was asking these. So there was a ton of interest in this job when Coach Nielsen, when he decided it was time for him to go. And so, I'm just interviewing. I'm getting calls from up north, man, which is unusual. Like you're hiring a volleyball coach, you better find one within 45 minutes here.
Right.
I'm not pulling up my stakes, my tent, my family.
Yeah.
But for this softball job,
they come everywhere.
Look, are you willing to move and live in this? Oh, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll come down and I'll be there tomorrow to interview.
That's right.
So I'm not going to tell you who it is, but man, I had a couple people that I really trust tell me, man, look I'm just telling you, this Amy Petrie is a multiple state championship coach. She just needs the right organization, and this is the organization.
Right.
And boy, were they right.
They right. Yeah. That's right.
Because I'm telling you, after her first year was – in the interview process, I said, man, look, this is the kind of place where we hadn't lost a district game in I don't know how long. Like you said, I said, you go out and, start 0-2 in district, man.
They want your head.
They coming at you. They coming.
People gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
I said, so I just want you to know the expectations of the program and what you're getting into. And she said, I embrace that. And her first year, she came in and they got, that's when they still had the quarterfinals were still at Sulphur.
Right.
Yes.
And so we were playing to get to the Sulphur. And man, we lost, and we lost
West Monroe,
and we lost kind of bad. Like the wheels kind of fell off, and I was just sitting there saying, "Man, this is one of the worst losses." I mean, first of all, I don't see St. Elmo softball get beat often,
right?
And very seldom do I see them get beat like that,
right?
So I was just like, "Man, this is." So man, I think people were starting to wonder, but the thought just never really crossed my mind, and then. I tell you what, that state championship should have been a state championship, back-to-back state championship.
She stuck it in overdrive, and she's still climbing.
And look, I mean, just to watch, some of the kids and you want to talk about a group of kids that know how to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
The softball kids, you can tell that they enjoy each other's company. They enjoy the coaches, She's got an outstanding staff.
Oh, definitely.
Mark and Daryl and Jay Brignac, who's a former Gator who's been here at least as long as I've been here.
Oh, yeah.
He coached football for me for several years. And, the job that they do and the excitement that they create for our community is
I call Coach Mark our rain man. I've never seen anybody can crunch numbers like he can when it comes to scouting reports and being able to see. He can tell you what he pitched to, what pitch they called to this girl at this at-bat in this particular game. Very, very smart man when it comes to numbers. And
I have grown to appreciate him because let me just tell you what, a lot of people just lose sight of the fact of how good of a tactician Coach Nielsen was.
Yeah.
I mean, his game plans were elite.
Yeah.
And the scouting reports were tremendous. And, those kids were always in a great position to win from a tactical standpoint. And so, you get used to seeing that, and then you just kind of don't recognize that you're seeing greatness every day when, Amy comes and her staff. Daryl's working with the pitchers and is a magician.
Yes.
And then Mark is, they just all know their roles and really just.
And we had AJ, Addison Jackson, stars
again,
for the softball side.
She, she must have wanted to get out of state. I just can't believe a talent like her, and what a tremendous kid.
Like I told her,
has not found a home in Louisiana. So I'm thinking that she must have said, you know what, I want to see the world.
Either that, when I talked to her, she said LSU didn't want her. I said, I tell you what, I said, go throw your numbers up. I said, transfer portal's your friend now.
Yeah.
And man, did they hit some home runs?
Oh,
she ended up with 28 on the season. As the last count was number 1 in the nation with it.
And Alex Franklin.
And Alex Franklin was right behind her at 22.
Yeah.
What do they call them? That guy would call them the Smash Sisters.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying nothing, but boys baseball only hit 1 all year.
Hey, bro. Come on, man.
So
our field's longer.
I'm just putting it like that, you know. But yeah.
But look, folks, this is what we're here for. The main thing. Everybody that donated this year, we want to thank y'all
definitely
for the donations that y'all sent in this year, and along with our sponsors, all of our sponsors that paid for those commercials. This is the donation this is the number that we coming up with that we have. Coach, your total is, let me get it.
You got it?
Yep.
Oh, I get the big check.
You get the big check.
Like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. Understand.
Oh, man.
I don't know how good they can see it.
I don't know how good y'all can see, but that says $20,111, folks.
Yep.
20,111, which is a big number, higher than our 15,000 last year.
Last year was a 15,000, and
or
again
18,000. It was 18,000.
18,
yeah.
15 the year before. So,
man, that's awesome.
You know, like I said, huge thank you to all the
everybody,
the sponsors, the donors, the people who donated throughout the year. Every year is growing.
Yep. Already got people calling wanting commercials.
Yeah, I think
so. Y'all, that's coming soon. If you want a commercial, like get ready.
Get ready. I think first year we turned over a check was
it was 40 something. I think.
Yeah, almost 5,000.
Yeah.
And every year it's gotten bigger and bigger
like
and bigger.
12, then almost 15, then 18,
then 18,
and now
then
we're sitting at 20. So.
And that's exactly what I was talking about that I love about this community, because I still remember the first time Chuck floated the idea to me, and I was kind of raising an eyebrow like the Rock. I could see how, but you know, you dreamt about it, you thought about it, and then you put it into reality, and then what really makes it work is the people. You know
it's
what I mean?
People. Yeah, if we didn't have if people wouldn't donate, trust me, I think I'd have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
And look, I remember one of that first conversations you had is, man, look, anybody that watches this game and that donates, that we're going to donate it back to the school, and our only thing is that we want to make sure that goes directly back into the kids.
Yeah.
And, I want to just thank the community and everyone who watches Chuck and Brad's product and donates, because, it ends up, that's going to go back right into the kids. That's not going into coaches' salaries. That's going to go into our student athletes. And I think last year we ended up with just about 1,100 of them. And about half the school is involved in some sort of extracurricular, and that's just athletics. That don't include.
That's not your FFA clubs
and
the
band, the 2 or 3 cheer teams. The dance team, the 300-member band, the FFA. So it's
junior R2C.
Yeah,
it's a great organization, and I can't thank the community for their support enough. Like I said, whether it's donating for a game, buying a game ticket, buying an extravaganza ticket, whatever. You guys make this place special. So I appreciate you guys having that dream and seeing it through, because it is, I tell you what, the other schools frequently mention, man, we need to start something like that for ourselves.
I saw East Ascension's trying. I saw they had their EA TV. And I know, and I tell everybody, I already went through the trials and tribulations. Come over here and I'll tell you what you need to get,
Yeah.
And what to do, and then there it is,
Yeah, there's just the benefits that, there's no secret to it. It was just hard work and grinding.
It was just
plenty of games and getting them on during tough weather and finding people to call them when you ain't there.
Yep,
that's a huge thing. I do want to thank all those parents that do go live for us whenever we can't be there. I mean, that's huge. And we got some big announcements coming up, folks.
Yep. That's later.
That's coming. Probably be Saturday.
But again, and that's what we tell everybody too. As long as we continue turning over these checks, we're allowed to do this. Right. Because if that stops, then we're going to stop.
I'm not just going to film to film and the athletic department getting no benefit out of it.
Correct. We want to do this for the kids. And it's ultimately for the kids. And it's also for the parents and the grandparents that can't make it to the games, that get to watch.
Shift workers,
people that live out of state. We have people all over the world who tune in.
So far, Sally Nettles is the furthest one.
Yep.
Okinawa, Japan.
I watch it a lot. You know, if it's a road game and it's a volleyball game on the road,
right,
and we're just finishing football practice, and I know by the time I get there, it'll be
over. You text me. What's the link?
You know, I'm not a huge social media guy, so I got to hit Chuck up all the time. Give me a link that I can open without joining Facebook.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I watch it quite a bit.
And we get a lot of that. Like I said, you know, during football season, we got a lot of people, shift workers, a lot of people out of state. Softball, I know we get a lot of, you know, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama,
a lot of
just
families
all
out
over.
Of state,
yeah, you know, that if this wasn't possible, wouldn't be able to get to see them kids play.
Yep.
Well, look, you can't put a price on how great a kid feels when the kid is at the grocery store and somebody comes up and tells them, man, that was an awesome shot.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great goal.
That's right.
Man, you guys are killing it right there. Just because they see him in some Santa Maria clothes.
That's right.
Might not even know.
Yeah.
And that just creates that other sense of community.
Exactly.
That, you know, our kids love watching themselves on TV. Their parents like it. And then, you know, the community likes it. You know? It used to be a big thing.
They having parties at the house now.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm like, if you're having a party, like send some donations over, you know.
So my I guess it still exists a little bit for football, and you know maybe slightly but you know the newspaper's disappearing. So my first couple of years on the job, I spent a lot of times with our coaches saying, "Man, it's your job to publicize your program. Every time you play a game, you need to report it to the newspapers. If you have to, you need to write up a little summary, send it to the Citizen, or you know you need to get it out there. But now." You know, they can watch it live and see it, or watch the replay and see it. So, it's, you know, if you need to find out what the, you know, hey, I wonder if Santa Maria won that game last night.
Pull it up, and there it is.
Yeah, it is.
You can watch it.
I can watch it, or I can fast
forward to the end. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really, it's incredible.
Or you hear people saying, "Man, that last play of the game." I got to
go back and see what it was.
I got to go see what they did. You know,
no doubt.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody out there that tuned in throughout the season, all the school year, and that donated. And we got some big things coming up for 24, folks. So y'all keep on tuning in.
There'll be another video for that.
Another video coming Saturday. Coach, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
And thank you, fans. Appreciate you.
Yeah, y'all. It's a great day to be a Gator.
Go Gators.